Okay, so hello and welcome everybody. Today we're going to be playing some Breath of the Wild, and I believe them live now. So, uh, hello. I don't think that I timed it right for exactly what I was looking for, but uh, today we're playing Breath of the Wild, which is my favorite game. Also, I should say this. I can't hear the game, so uh yeah, so if there's any problems with the audio, uh, let me know, because I have a cheap ass not graphics card. I do have a cheap graphics card, but I also have a very cheap capture card. As in, most capture cards are like 100-ish, 150-ish dollars, and the one that I got is about $35. So just let me know if there's any problems, and I'll do what I can to try and fix them. And good to see you, Jarrett. Okay. It's been a little while since I've started a new playthrough. Played through the game like 4-ish times? So this will be fun. And also, I should say that I am going to be trying to get the Master Sword today. But don't expect too much, because I'm not a speedrunner. And it is nice to be just playing a game on stream again. After the 3 streams of Dark Archive.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It will help guide you after your long slumber.
And boy, I'm trying to not talk over dialogue, which is hard because I can't hear the dialogue. So I'm having to run off of my memory of the last time that I've played the game. And oh, I wonder what the Sheikah Slate is based on. Definitely not a console that they kind of forgot about and removed features of the game, so it's better for the Switch and not the Wii U. Definitely Nintendo would never have done that. Never. Nintendo would never take out some really cool map features that they put into a trailer. They definitely want to take those out to make it more appealing.
That will show you the way.
Okay. Yes, this is in fact the tutorial. The shortest tutorial in Zelda, but
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
yes, I am the light. By some definitions. And let's get out there. Why don't we? And once we're out here, and we're mostly going to be done with dialogue and cutscenes and all that, I'll explain the goals I have for the stream. And there's the shot that so many games are taking liberties with, you know, adding into their own game. So many games do that now. It's hilarious. So, let's see. So, welcome to the game. I'm not going to be trying to even act like I have not played this game before, because I've played this game a lot before. But today is probably going to be the first of a couple of Breath of the Wild streams, just because I love this game. Also, pro mode. And camera sensitivity is on fast. Yeah, that feels better. That way, there is nothing for me. Yes, Genshin Impact is... It tries so hard to be Breath of the Wild, and yet it is not Breath of the Wild. But... Also, let me know if there's any, like, frame drops. Again, I have a very cheap capture card, so I wouldn't be surprised if there's some frame drops, but let me know. There might be something that I can do about that. But the goals for this stream are pretty simple. Kind of, not really, but they are simple, which is I want to, thank you for Korok. I am going to be getting off of the Great Plateau. And then I believe I'm going to be getting the Ancient Horse Saddle, because something I'll talk about in a second. And then I'm going to be trying to get around to get the Master Sword. You normally need 13 hearts to get the Master Sword. I'm not going to be getting 13 hearts, that's lame. And again, I'm no speedrunner. I think we're about 7 minutes into the run. I think you can get the Master Sword in about 30 minutes. Probably less, actually. I'm not that up to date on the, like, Master Sword speedrun category, but... Yes, Zelda?
Link. Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
Oh, yeah. So... About what I was talking about how I want to get the Ancient Horse Saddle. That is because I... Oh, hey there. Yeah, might as well. Guess you don't want to actually attack, but, So, I have a couple of rules that I generally play by whenever I play this game, because I've played through this game multiple times. So you kind of have to come up with your own rules to add an interest to a game like this once you've played it so many times by yourself. Also, let's just get this this cutscene out of the way. So, because now it's just instant. So basically what I'm trying to say is that I like to come up with rules that I force myself to stick by to make the game a little bit more interesting. I try and avoid eating during combat, because that just removes so much interest in the combat if you can just pause at any moment to heal up to full. That just isn't very fun. Oh, I can see a frame drop there. Jeez. So that's just a pretty basic one, but the main one is that I don't fast travel. Outside of, like, obvious situations where the game forces you to fast travel. Like, in particular, stuff like teleporting off of divine beasts. That's not fast travel, that's a cutscene. Just because I find the game is a lot more interesting whenever you actually have to learn the landscape and interact with its roads and rivers the way that I feel it's really designed to be. So this will be fun. And I want some arrows just to make my life easier. So, I guess I, you know, put a lot of Pathfinder tags into the tag section of this, so I guess I'll start us off with some Pathfinder stuff. So, just asking in general to everyone here, what do you guys think about the Dark Archive now that it's all out on Archives of Nethys, meaning that, and on Pathbuilder, meaning that everyone can actually, you know, see it now, and it's not exclusive for people that paid money for it? I thought that would have kicked in bullet time. Yeah. So, because I love it. Like, this is... It's really my first Pathfinder rulebook. Like, big Pathfinder rulebook. Because the Book of the Dead had a lot of really cool stuff in it. But it was ultimately a very specific stat book. Where it covers, again, the dead. If you're in an undead specific campaign, it's amazing. But if you aren't, then it's not as wide-reaching. But the Dark Archive is that wide-reaching book. So it's my first real, like, wide-reaching rulebook. And I love it so much, man. It's just a really fun game. This is a very fun game. And Pathfinder is also a very fun game. So... I mean... This game is like 5 years old. And this is one of the more boring cutscenes. Yeah, let's just skip it. No need to have the super simple cutscenes for a 5-year-old game. Which, God, this game is 5 years old. God, that feels wrong. This game shouldn't be 5 years old. Well, I guess I've only been playing it for 4 years, so I guess it's a bit more understandable in that regard. Yeah, this game is just good. Like, you know it's good whenever you don't mind going through the early sections of the game. Remember what, Zelda?
Try to remember. You have been asleep for the past 100 years. The beast. When the beast regains its true power, this world will face its end.
You know, I really wish we fought this Ganon. Like, the big ghost Ganon. Like, I don't mind Dark Beast Ganon as a final boss.
Then,
But I think
you
it could be
must
way
hurry,
cooler.
Link,
Or rather, I think that it should have been a 3-stage fight.
before it's too late.
Yeah, the classes from the Dark Archive are amazing. Like, I wasn't initially as excited about the Psychic as I was about the Thaumaturge, because I'm very much a martial guy. But in my, like, first, like, read-through of the Psychic, I am totally down for playing one at some point, and to the point where whenever I inevitably do end up playing a full, whenever I end up eventually playing a full spellcaster in a campaign, they're going to be a Psychic. Not just because they're more focused on damage, although that is kind of true that they are, and I like doing damage. I have monkey brain. But they're just fun. Like, I guess it's more of something where I would have to worry a little bit less about actual reserving daily resources, which I'm really bad at reserving daily resources. Like, I'm the guy that will spend a hero point on, like, the third roll of the session just because I want it to work, not necessarily because it's important that it works. So, as you might imagine, I'm kind of gung-ho with spending literally anything. So I wouldn't keep spell slots. I would just use them. but because the psychic is a lot more focused on using focus points, that is a lot less of a big deal. And it's just, like, I don't know. Unleash Psyche is my kind of ability, where, okay, you're powered up for a couple of turns, and then you have to deal with the consequences. Like, I think I've mentioned this in a previous stream, but I love the Solarian from Starfinder. It is just a incredibly cool design for a class where you build up a resource every single round that then you can use for other things. And Unleash Psyche kind of gives me that feeling where you can basically do something to power yourself up, and then you're going to have to suffer the consequences. What I would love to see a class in 1E that had a similar sort of design where how many? Okay, I got 10 arrows. Are there any fish in this pond? No. We'll have to go back up there to get some. But so I would be totally down if there was just, like, at Gen Con in like a week they announced, okay, so the next core rulebook after the Dark Art, not after the Dark Archive, after the Treasure Vault, is going to be a Starfinder conversion wherein the Vanguard and the Solarian are being ported over to Pathfinder 1E, or Pathfinder 2E. If that's all that was announced at Gen Con, I mean, I wouldn't be super happy. But I still think that would be sick, because the Solarian and the Vanguard are easily my two favorite classes from Starfinder, and they're so cool. Because, I mean, the Solarian is all about balance. You pick which direction you want to attune yourself to, and you get various benefits. And then after a certain amount of time, you get even more benefits that you can generally blow up, because everyone goes photon alignment, or attunement. But I think that that's just a really cool mechanic. Or maybe, I mean, obviously, I think that that is a bit too out there for 1E's general, not 1E, about 2E doesn't design classes like that, and they don't design basic mechanics like it. So I would be shocked if that is what, if there's anything like the Solarian attunement in any 2E class. But I would love it, because, I don't know, just really dynamic classes that have to change the way they play from round to round is just really cool. Like, imagine if there were two different traits associated with various actions within a class, and then they, and then depending on which actions you use, let's say that there's a light and dark. Light and dark are two different traits for a class. And then depending on how many light actions you use, you become attuned to light in a various amount. So it's like, oh, I don't know, you've used 3 light actions. I thought that screw was gonna fall. But you've used 2 light actions, therefore you've had a light attunement of 2. Or maybe it'd be more like an Oracle Curse. So you use 1 light ability, therefore you're at moderate state or mild light stage, which gives you, oh god, I need to turn off motion controls for that. That's gonna mess me up. Okay, there we go. So, like, you use 1 light ability, so then you enter a mild light state, which gives you a particular bonus for 1 thing. And then you use another light action, then you enter moderate light state, which gives you a penalty, but also a bonus, and just stuff like that. It'd be fun. Starfinder is basically what this idea would be is Oracle-esque, but it's a sliding scale that goes 2 directions instead of 1. That's effectively just what I'm thinking. Which is, it's similar enough to the Oracle that it's probably not going to be a thing. I'm just kind of throwing stuff into the void of streaming without truly thinking about the consequences of what I'm saying. And Starfinder is kind of Pathfinder 1.5, as in it has some elements of 2e in it, but it is predominantly based on Pathfinder 1st edition, and it is magic, fancy sci-fi stuff. So it's basically Pathfinder in space. It's basically science fantasy as in the Star Wars definition of sci-fi, which is really just space fantasy. It's been years and years since I've played any of it, so I am not necessarily the best person to talk about it. But it's still, like, a fun game. Yeah, I think it's more that they would... For a class that has, like, a sliding scale of abilities that they shift between based on what abilities they use, the problem is, like, how are you going to theme that? Like, what is the defining element of that class? Like, I could see maybe the medium would be really cool for that. So you have, like, I don't know, 3 different spirits that you are attuning to, and then depending on what you attune to. No, I'm not gonna fast travel, old man. Screw fast traveling. Fast traveling isn't cool. None of the cool kids are doing fast traveling. But, like, let's say you're attuning to, or rather you're a, okay, I'm an idiot. Okay, let's just not deal with that, because I'm gonna end up killing myself with it, and I don't want to suffer the embarrassment. So, imagine, like, actually, I think that this idea would work really well for a medium, like a channeler, sort of, where there are ambient spirits around. Actually, no, channeler. Let's just call it channeler, and then a medium would be a subclass of that. And shaman, in a way, would also be a subclass of this class, where you channel various spirits around. Depending on the subclass, that changes what kind of spirits. Are they the spirits of people who are gone? Or you could go much more like nature sort of vibe with it and make it be the spirit of fire in the area. And then, so then you could, let's say, I am not looking for those bokos. I am looking for a good old-fashioned boar. But, so you could use, I don't know, an action that has the warrior trait or something. Oh, God. That guy is already despawned, hasn't he? Oh. Pleasant surprise. So you could use like an action with the warrior trait or something, which then aligns you 1 step towards warrior, which then obviously gives benefits because you're aligned to the warrior. So let's say, I don't know, a bonus to attack rolls or something. Now, yeah, this is pretty obviously, honestly, if you're looking for inspiration for a class like this, I'm basically just thinking about, so what if you take the Ancestor Oracle, but instead of randomly rolling for it, it's more consistent. Just a consistent ancestor oracle, but you could also expand the and this is probably too complicated for it to ever actually be implemented as a to-be class, but take the ancestor oracle, make it a bit more consistent, but also maybe a little bit more debilitating. So you get bonuses on skills, or you get bonuses on, or you get sneak attack, or you get just tiny little things to emulate other spirits, or maybe if you're a shaman type of channeler, then you, if you played the game before, you know what I'm collecting ingredients for here. Like you could, I don't know, get 1 fire point every time that you use a spell with the fire trait. And then that gives you fire resistance. And then once you have 3 or 4 fire points, then you, I don't know, you deal an additional d6 fire damage on all strikes because you're on fire. This could actually maybe work as an archetype. But you could do the same thing for cold. You could do the same thing for electricity. So fall damage in this game is weird. I thought I was going to go ragdoll there. And no, we're not playing in master mode, so no Lionel. I just think that would be cool. Like, I want... this is probably a fair amount is... I like really complicated concepts, and if I have to redo a bunch of math on my sheet, or like have to really think about what exactly is my character even like capable of, that's my kind of character. Let's get ourselves some bombs. Also, let's get ourselves a better fitting shirt. That is totally not product placement. This is absolutely an in-universe shirt. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, look at this. Hey, stop it. Like, look at this. Totally in-universe product placement. Also, is it just me, or I've always thought these pants look so comfy. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to Gen Con. Again, I'm not going, but I'm really looking forward to see what Paizo announces. Because the Treasure Vault isn't going to have any new classes. Because, generally speaking, the book that comes out later in the year, that one is the one that has classes. So, basically, the Treasure Vault is like the Book of the Dead. It is... it's a bit less specific than the Book of the Dead, but it just has a bunch of stuff in it that is useful. But then there's something later on that's a bit more... I don't know. Basically, what I'm trying to say is there's generally one rulebook a year that it seems like Paizo is wanting to have one rulebook a year where they put out classes. And at Gen Con, they're probably going to be announcing that book for 2023.
Yep.
Meaning that I am really looking forward to that. Let's get a Claymore. I think I have room in my inventory. I've been breaking some. Okay, thank God.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, like, I know that I have 1E Pathfinder brain, and that means I am always down for more classes. Because, I don't know, I like classes. I like seeing new stuff. So I'm down for like an infinite combination of classes and archetypes. Like, oh no, there's... Like, to me, it's not a bad thing if we end up getting like 30 classes. But I also recognize that from a design standpoint, that is a bad thing. because a lot of classes can be summed up as a single archetype. And if I remember correctly, that's an amber, which is not worth running over there. So, like, realistically, I know that, like, you could make the Inquisitor work as an archetype. It doesn't need to be a class. It doesn't need to be a cleric doctor. But I'd like for it to be a class. Ah. Oh, that's right, I need wood. Okay, so I guess I'm going up there. That's gonna be annoying. Okay. Well, I'm just trying to map out where I'm going. Because, I have a limited amount of time, both in, like, literal time today, and also in my voice gives streaming a time span. I have a limited amount of time before my voice just decides that I am no longer streaming. And I'm so happy that I can stream this because, good lord, it's so much easier to talk while playing something like Breath of the Wild when compared to a super hectic game like Hades. Because Hades and Risk of Rain, which are very good games, are very hectic and require a lot of constant thinking from me, which makes it hard, or even harder, I guess, for me to string together coherent thoughts. Oh, like, yeah, I have some experience with classless RPGs, which, in general, my experiences have been good. But I feel like what's the right way to put this? Oh, sweet. Yeah, so... Yes, I've totally read your diary, old man. I know that you forgot how to make us this food. Definitely don't just want a better piece of clothing. I don't know anything about Dungeon World, but the way... I think the way that I would put it is that what I am looking for in different RPGs is different. Different game systems have different purposes and things that I think that they're good at and bad at. If you're looking for a pretty standard, not Lord of the Rings, but just classic fantasy adventure, then stuff like D&D, and I don't need a second Korok leaf. Stuff like D&D 5e and Pathfinder, both 1e and 2e, are great for pretty standard just fantasy adventures. But if you're looking for more of a story experience, or something that isn't set in those, then I feel like other experiences are better, but also even like play experiences, I feel, like some systems and some stories just fit better when classes don't exist. But that's also going to create a general different type of play experience. So most of the time, whenever I play Pathfinder, it's because I kind of just want to turn my brain off and do silly adventure stuff. Which, to me, probably just because I grew up in the environment and systems of Pathfinder, to me, yeah, it's just... classes help simplify things, and I'm not looking for, like, a more complicated narrative experience, which generally, those are good. But it's just simpler for me. And a lot of the time I don't know. Classes are comfort food. They make things easier where I don't have to think. But I have played some classless RPGs before that were good. Open Legend is one that I played for a bit. That is not necessarily... I can't say that it was good or not, because I wasn't really paying attention to game design very much, because this was like 6 years ago or something. Maybe even longer. But it's just interesting. Fuck off, stalls. Let me in the shrine, please. My brother also plays a lot of TTRPGs, and he like exclusively plays classless stuff. And he makes his own classless RPGs. Maybe the right way to put it is that different game systems are good for different types of campaigns and different groups. Some groups just want to fuck around and, I don't know, reenact the Lord of the Rings. But with like, I don't know, 0.1% of the budget. And then others want to tell a more complex story, or they want to, I don't know, tell a cyberpunk story, and they don't necessarily want to use the cyberpunk system. Or they just want to have one system that they learned that then they can use for various different campaigns. But I'm just a Pathfinder guy. I like generic fantasy. I'm boring. I don't think it's worth going over there. I don't remember what that chest has in it, but I don't think it's anything too crazy. Yeah, it's very difficult to balance modular stuff because, like, anyone can take anything. So then there are just going to be some options that are incredibly powerful that just everyone ends up taking. Yeah, from whenever I did play Starfinder years ago, I really liked, like, I loved Starfinder, but I just had some gripes with how certain elements of the game worked. Like, I just didn't like how weapons and armor were level-based, so you just had to constantly be buying new weapons and armor. Because it felt like, yeah, the reason why I'm doing so much damage is because I found a cool gun, not because I'm cool. Which isn't necessarily, like, true, because, of course, your attack bonus goes up, but I like my characters being what is cool, not necessarily their gear makes them cool, which is part of the reason why, while I haven't actually, like, done a full campaign with it, like, any time in the future where I'm going to be GMing, I am going to be GMing with automatic bonus progression. Also, can I just say that it's wild, because I'm listening to different music, because I can't hear anything from the game. And the instant I walked into here, because I'm listening to Breath of the Wild music, it switched to the Snowy Mountain theme, which is creepy. And, like, I do have a way that I can listen to the game sound, but it is delayed by about half a second. And that is honestly just more confusing than it is helpful. So, yeah. I'm just having to take a guess at what the music is and what the sound effects are. So if I ever get attacked by Keese and I just don't recognize it, that's because I'm playing as a blind version of Link, actually. Oh, I think actually, I'm just thinking about Starfinder now. My favorite thing that I think about Starfinder is that the Starfinder team is in absolutely is in no way afraid of giving the players to just be completely weird. Like, we saw this a little bit in the Mwangi Expanse book, but there are some weird ass races out there in the world. And in Starfinder, you can play as them. You want to play, I don't know, giant floating brain? You go, man. But there's also, like, I think they're the Varaka from Starfinder. They're basically, now again, this is, oh, okay. This will be helpful. I forgot I didn't have the paraglider. So I think that they're basically super communal wolf people that are blind. And that means that they all inherently come with like a scent that is so precise that they could use it to like pinpoint people or stuff like that, which is so cool. Because it's like, okay, I want to play a blind character, but you don't necessarily want to deal with the incredible amount of difficulties that doing anything as a blind character comes with. Because, like, there are ways that you can play a blind character, but it's still really hard. Like, it's much easier to be deaf, just because, like, Pathfinder is, you know, written by people who can see, and so it just assumes that people can see. Humans are like that, so it's hard to really write that stuff, but Starfinder just goes balls to the walls and says, yeah, fuck it. You want to be blind? You want to be a clam? It's just fun. And I just remembered that at Gen Con they're probably also going to be announcing new APs. Or maybe, or at least more information on APs. Oh, I missed. Yeah, why not? Let's kill him. Stop running. Hey. Because we basically know nothing about the Gatecrashers AP, which I don't know if I will want to actually know things about the Gatecrashers AP, or if I want to know nothing about it so that I can play in it. But regardless, it does sound really cool. But I really want more APs that are from levels 5 to 15. Yeah, Goloma are really interesting. Like, the Mwangi book just had some very interesting classes. Or not classes. Ancestries. But really, Starfinder doesn't pull any punches. Pathfinder still does. Even if the Konrasu are so cool. But yeah, about AP levels, we have one that's levels 11 to 20, and one... Oh, hey there, old man. Looks like he just came down from the Gerudo Highlands. Although I wonder if you're a ghost or something. You're not being very subtle. You're basically pointing directly at the Temple of Time. It's not remotely subtle on where I'm supposed to go. But, like, we have, I think, what, like, 4 APs that go from levels 1 to 10, and then one that goes from levels 11 to 20. I want to see books that are, like, 5 to 15. Because, honestly, those are probably some of... those are some of the, like, best parts of... some, like, the best levels, because you're at a level wherein you can actually have a build going. Like, some characters just don't start working until levels 5. Because, I don't know, you're an inventor and you just don't have a high enough strength to match the other marshals in the party for accuracy. Or you want to get a... Or let's say, you're one of my current backup characters that I have in mind for Outlaws of Alkenstar. And you want to be a vigilante. And a core part of this character's backstory is that they are a vigilante. But you cannot be a vigilante until level 2. So that's like, okay, what the fuck do I do at level 1 then for this character? Because you just don't have a core part of the character's mechanics yet. So starting at level 5 would just allow you to do a lot of really cool stuff that you can't do right now. And also, high level play is fun. I do generally think that the 3-book version of APs is really good. I think that it's great for shorter campaigns, and I think that it's... I don't know if it's better. I really do like the longer APs. I'm about to finish one. And it's... yeah, it's fun. But at the same time, it's a lot easier to actually finish a 3-book AP. Without, you know, the CR25 monster scheduling difficulties getting in the way. Yeah, I'm above the Shrine of Resurrection. But... what was I thinking? God, I can't wait for my paraglider. Yeah, it's faster to go this way. Basically what I'm saying is I like a mix of 3 and 6 book APs, but I want to see a wider level range for 3 book APs. Because I love high level play in 2E, it's so much fun. And you really only start to scratch the surface of high level play at like level 10. But then you're playing the Abomination Vaults and you get to level 10 and you're basically done with the AP. Which, I don't know. I just want more chances to play at high levels. Also, starting at high level helps out a lot for backstories, because you can't make that badass of a backstory for a level 1 character. Because if you do make an incredibly badass backstory for a high level character, or for a level 1 character, you also have to justify why the heck you aren't as cool in actual play as you are in your backstory. So, like, starting at level 5 is just comfy. Like, if I were to run a homebrew game for people that have experience with the game, I would start them at level 5. Or level 5, or maybe level 3. But that's at a point wherein you have enough time to really start to define a character's mechanics and how they work and differentiate them. I mean, obviously, they can be pretty different at level 1, but you can really start to get down to it at levels 2 and 3, because that's when you can start to get archetypes. That's when you start getting access to more spells. Level 1 characters are fun, but they are pretty limited. I am so ready to skip a cutscene.
Well done there, young one.
Because there are things that I need to do today. Also, I'm just looking, and boy, was that choppy just now on stream.
The Demon King was born into this kingdom.
So maybe it's still actually a thing. Huh. I was assuming that I could use, like, the whole stick figure thing.
My own daughter.
Just fine, because I'm actually running the game on my Switch, but doesn't seem like it. That's true. Badassery is different from overpowered, but you can't write in your backstory, oh yeah, this is when I fought a lich or when I fought a dragon to a standstill, and then, or it's hard to say, like, in your backstory, oh yeah, I used to be, or I am, like, a high-ranking member in the city guard. Because in reality, in most cities, the city, like, the high-ranking members of the city guard are probably going to be, like, 10th level. So you just need a justification as to why your character isn't quite as cool as they may think they are. But, I don't know, so many people write, like, level 1 backstories as being, like, gods among men. Without really realizing the actual power of a level 1 character. I'm also, I don't know, I just want to see more APs because I just love Galarian so much. Now where's a horse? I think there's, oh, I should get an Ice Arrow just to make this a bit less painful. No, I'm not going for a fancy horse right now. I don't need an Ice Arrow. I think there's some over there. And the next goal, by the way, is to get the Ancient Saddle, so I can actually have a horse available at all times. Because Nintendo actually did charge for the ability to teleport your horse to you. Because Nintendo has to Nintendo. There's a horses there. Okay. Let's go for this guy. Oh, okay. Maybe I did not time that or place that quite as well as I thought I did. Okay. No idea how good this guy's stats are. But you're gonna have to do, friend. And let's get you up high enough where I can actually put the bridle on you. Yeah, like, if you want to be a captain of the guard, you have to also include in your backstory, like, oh, 30 years ago they were the captain of the guard, and then you pick up new skills along the way, or stuff like, oh yeah, they were the captain of the guard. They also got an injury, so they can't use their dominant hand anymore. So that's the reason why they're level 1 instead of probably like level 5 where they used to be, because they're using their left hand and they're like heavily right-handed. Stuff like that. Like, that's kind of a silly reason as to why you're a lower level than your backstory makes it sound like you are. But just grievous injuries or age are pretty easy ways to justify why a character isn't quite as rad as they seem to think they are. The other fun thing is to say that your character thinks that they're like the best thing since sliced bread, but they actually aren't. They're just kind of delusional. That's also pretty fun. Also, something that this is just more like a general thing that I just love the idea of. Is whenever you start a game, you give everyone, you create, like, let's, don't run towards the edge of the bridge, you idiot. You fool. But let's say that there are, let's say you're a party of 5 people. So you come up with 4 rumors about your character. And like 2 of them are true and 2 of them are false. And then you give one at random to every member of the party. Yeah, that is, there is a, in one of the games that I'm playing in, we have a character called Hero, who changed their name to, I believe, Hiromius Lightbringer, and who calls themselves Hero. It's very full of themselves, and it took a while until they could actually back that up, because first level characters and all that. And that is true of like ability, like levels as in, yeah, levels are weird because you have the situation of like, well, I don't know, a 15th level fighter can take on an entire country. Like, if every single member of a small country lined up to fight, like their entire army fought a level 15 fighter, level 15 fighter would destroy them. And that can be a little bit difficult to accept and like wrap your head around. So you've got to find a way to justify levels in story, or I forget. Okay, sweet. I can actually. Oh, that's right. I actually have to. Let's see. Is Beetle here? Yep. Hey, Beetle. I think I have at least something that I can sell to you. It's probably like 50 gold. Oh, I'm not looking. I just need to get some rupees so I can register my horse. Okay, that'll be enough. Like, it's hard to explain Golarion as a world whenever it's like, oh yeah, I don't know. A couple miles outside of town, there's a level, I don't know, 6 creature that can take on half of the town in single combat. Register. Yep. Oh, that's not a. Those aren't great stats. Let's see. What is a good name? Let's just go. Oh, no. No. Valeros is more of the horse guy. Valeros feels like a horse. I don't know why. I just went for an iconic. Oh, yeah, but, like, it's what it feels like. Where, like, maybe the right way to put it is, like, high-level characters feel like demigods and how you have to treat them in how they can take on forces. Where it's like, one person shouldn't be able to do that much. But they can. And that's where the proficiency level comes in. System comes in. Because it brings things a little bit more under control. But then again, that changes basically the entire genre of the game. Okay. Let's see. How much do they like me? I think that they're at max affection. Because I was spamming petting them on the way over. Let's not change anything yet. Oh, but like a fighter with Whirlwind Strike and a reach weapon is fucking terrifying. Honestly, actually, yeah, I think that a 20th level fighter could potentially, like, not lose to a, no, I think a 20th level fighter wouldn't be capable of losing to an infinite amount of, level 1 creatures, so long as those level 1 creatures had to approach them. As long as they don't have, reach weapons as well. Because Whirlwind Strike is a silly feat, and the 20th level fighter feat that allows you to, get a reaction on every single person's turn is also a very silly feat. Honestly, okay. Just a little gripe here. Because I don't complain a lot about Pathfinder's rules, so I'll complain a little bit about Pathfinder's rules, because there's one that is honestly frustrating, which is if a couple of classes have different feats that give them more reactions every turn. Let's take the Swashbuckler for an example. At level 20, don't need to talk to Melania. Just need to get this chest. Yeah, mass combat rules are something that we do need. Mass combat would be great. Oh yeah, but at level 20, some, like Swashbucklers have a feat that allows them, that gives them a reaction on every enemy turn that can only be used for, Opportune Riposte and Attack of Opportunity. It is those specific 2 reactions that you can now use once on every single person's turn. And that's really good. But compare it to the fighter level 20 feat that gives you a additional reaction on every person's turn that you can use for anything. You can use it for casting spells if you have reaction spells, for shield blocking, for attacks of opportunity, for everything. It's such a better feat. And for a class like a Swashbuckler, who has substantially more focus, or like, Swashbucklers have a stupid amount of really good reactions. Like Charmed Life is an amazing reaction, but you can't use Charmed Life with the Swashbuckler feat that gives you additional reactions, which is annoying. I want that to work, because it's really dumb. In case you didn't know, yeah, troop rules do help with the problem. Yeah, troop rules are very good for that. Because, like, okay, a troop of guards has a much better chance of being able to fight off a low-level... Sorry, a troop of guards has the ability to fight a high-level party. But you also... Actually, I wonder... There isn't a... there's no way that there is an actual guard troop already, is there? Let's see. What's more Valoros? Definitely not floral. Valoros feels pretty basic. So now I can call Valoros to my side at any period of time, or at any point. But let's get this shrine. Despite the fact that I don't actually need that many hearts to act. How much wood do I have? 3. Okay, that'll be enough. I still want some spirit orbs for more stamina. Yeah, mass combat would be nice to have. Like, just rules for, I don't know, APC is a part of a battalion, and therefore they give a bonus towards that battalion based on their, I don't know, athletics roll for the turn in mass combat. I think that oh, this shrine. Okay. I think that there is a okay. Actually, I'm just now thinking of something. There is a new type of feat that I want to see added. I desperately want to see teamwork feats make a comeback. Oh, want to see a little fun little piece of Breath of the Wild trivia? Anything you can blow up with bombs, you can all, or like big rocks, you can also break with, you know, weapons that are designed to break rocks. Which makes sense, but I didn't realize that for a long time. Yeah, sure. Like, I want teamwork feats to come back from 1E, because teamwork feats are so cool. Like, rogues are one of the only classes that gets a lot of stuff for making, flanking better with gang up. I want to see stuff like, I don't know, a teamwork feat where both of you have it. Whenever you flank an opponent, that opponent, or rather, you get an automatic demoralized check against that opponent, or that opponent has to make a saving throw against, like a will save versus one of your, like, the moment that you enter flanking with another person who has this teamwork feat, they, the opponent has to make a will save versus the person who entered the flanks class DC or spell DC. If they fail, they become frightened, and then the person who, the other person gets to make an attack against them. Stuff like that, that would really encourage team synergy, but you also have to invest into taking. Because teamwork feats are really cool in 1E. And unfortunately, the only people who ever took teamwork feats were people that didn't have to have their, that didn't have to actually use teamwork, like Inquisitors. Or who only teamed up with themselves, like Hunters. Also, God, I just want, like, I don't know exactly what this says about me, but I really want, like, I want a, like, weird body manipulation class. Whether that is a shifter or something else. Because, well, like, oh yeah, we're kind of shifter. Yeah, shifter could be cool, but yeah, the sniping duo is really cool. And you basically just say, okay, you're sighting for me now, and occasionally you might have to slam your sword into my bullet to redirect it, and that's okay with you. Oh, now I remember the sniping duo archetype. Now I'm gonna have to maybe make a new character for Outlaws of Alkenstar. And now we're heading to a giant stump. Oh, and like teamwork is absolutely supported by the core rules, but I want like even more focus on it. Because I'm not gonna lie, I fucking love XCOM. And I view some Pathfinder combats like they're XCOM encounters. And goddamn, I am terrible at it, but Long War was such a satisfying mod. Oh, let's get that Fallen Star, because I'm going right by it. That's literally on the way. That's one of the most convenient fallen stars I've ever seen. But like, I don't know. So I like the situation, like for example, Squad Sight is really, really fun. It's a really fun ability in XCOM wherein a sniper doesn't actually have to be able to see a creature, they have to have line of effect to them, but like every soldier in XCOM can only see a certain distance. But a sniper who has Squad Sight can see an enemy even if they're outside of their own line of effect, as so long as an ally can see them and they're within, there's nothing blocking. It's just really fun. You sit someone at the back and then everyone else points out their location and then, you know, their head gets obliterated. It's fun. So I want stuff like that, or blowing up cover and then giving an ally, like, can you imagine a archetype? Like, the Demolitionist archetype is fun, but could you imagine if the Demolitionist archetype had the ability to, like, designate an ally, and then you throw a bomb to destroy someone's cover, and then that ally then can use their reaction to make a ranged strike against them. So you detonate and blow up someone's cover, and then your ally takes a shot at them. That's just really cool. God, now I want to play XCOM. And judging by what I'm seeing of the stream quality every once in a while, in future streams, I'm not going to be doing the dynamic avatar. It's going to be the PNG, because I don't like the fact that there's still occasional slowdowns. Outside of my Switch dying. There's not much you can do about that. Okay, let's get a flame blade, huh? And we are much, much closer than you might realize to actually being able to get the Master Sword. Unless you already know how I'm getting the Master Sword. Also, yeah, let's do the shrine up here. Also, fun little piece of information, because my memory is, generally speaking, not very good. The only exception is for Pathfinder information and the Breath of the Wild map, because I think I've gotten every shrine 3 times, maybe 4, and I think I think 3 times. And 2 of those times I did it without any fast travel. So I have a, like, near unfortunate level of knowledge about this map. Which is fun. Also, just a quick question for everyone here. This might just be like a me thing, but I legitimately just don't know. Does everyone else like, ow. Okay. Okay. Death number 1. Which was caused by me being an idiot. Shock. But does everyone else just, like, whenever they're playing a game, try and come up with how you would build them as a Pathfinder character? Or is that just, like, oh, it's stupid me thing? Because literally everything that I do, I build, like, characters as Pathfinder characters. Because Link in Breath of the Wild is... Oh, are you kidding? Link is a Flurry Ranger. I accept no other possibilities. Link must be a Flurry Ranger. Or rather, Breath of the Wild Link, because, like, other characters are different classes, probably, or other links are different classes, most likely. Yeah. Okay, let's just spin to win and get this over with. Okay, let's stop being dumb. And I said, let's stop being dumb, which means get hit instead of doing a flurry rush. I was trying to illustrate why Link is a flurry ranger, but... Okay, let's... The problem is, like, I'm listening to super relaxing, like, main Zelda, like, piano music in the background here. So it's very much not combat music. Yeah, but, like, I do it for shows that I'm watching, or games that I'm playing, or books that I'm reading. Like, oh, what would Kaladin be like as a Pathfinder character? Which I think has, like, actually really helped me figure out different options in the game, because it's like, well, now, because I'm wanting to figure out how a certain character would play, I've got to learn how familiars work. Even though I don't necessarily want to play a character that has a familiar. Okay, there we go. Finally. Hey. Okay. This is... Okay. Okay, time to just ignore these guys because I don't want to fight them. Like, I feel like just about every game that I've played, I have a theoretical build for the main character in Pathfinder. Like, Link is probably... Breath of the Wild Link is probably a Flurry Ranger with the Weapon Improviser archetype, who just doesn't actually use any weapon the way that they're intended, and just uses every weapon as an improvised weapon. He's an amnesiac. He doesn't remember how to fight. Yeah, I think Champion or Fighter would work for Kaladin, but also I think that you are required. Keep in mind, no spoilers, because I haven't actually read Rhythm of War, so no spoilers about it, please. I am trying to get through the entire Cosmere before I read Rhythm of War. Oh, that would have been helpful. I don't need a Korok, please. You're required to take Soul Forger for Kaladin, and any Knight Radiant. It's just the law. Yeah, let's just not fight things anymore. I don't have the weapons for it. Especially not Guardian stuff, because it doesn't scale. So, bye. Like, Corvo is... Oh, I don't know if I've actually made Corvo in 2E. But he's a... probably rogue with a duelist archetype. Or it depends a lot on if you're going high or low chaos for Corvo. Oh, I should do that. Okay, that should work. I think... Oh, that worked way better than expected. I was also thinking that it might work to try and take Familiar Master for Kaladin, specifically, to get Sin. So, let's... I don't have a fire arrow, so... Gotta do it the smart way. Okay. Yeah, Corvo. In case you didn't know, Corvo is a assassin sort of character from the Dishonored series. What Corvo be? Probably a rogue, definitely. Low chaos, probably. God, what would he be? I almost. I'm not sure what low chaos Corvo would be. So let's get this diamond. But he would definitely end up taking Shadow Dancer just for the ability to teleport. Like, although I guess you might be able. Oh, now here's a cursed idea. Oh, this is beautiful. Corvo is a rogue that. No, Corvo is a monk because you get the is it Abundant Step. It's a monk focus spell that allows for you to teleport. So that is Blink. But then you also, at level 10, this Corvo is definitely at least level 10, you take the, is it Stranglehold? It's a monk feat that allows for you to, that shrine took way too long. It is a monk feat that allows that whenever you have someone grappled, you can make a grapple check against their fortitude DC, and on one of the outcomes is you knock them unconscious, where you just strangle someone and then you just knock them out, which that's a non-lethal takedown. And then you also take the assassin archetype. And we are almost good to go. We are almost good here. Come on. Might as well get a Korok. Hello there, Pablo. Oh, I think I'm about to get destroyed by a choo-choo. So let's run. Where did they come from? Regardless, I need to litter here. No point having... Oh, can you not drop things in midair? I thought you could. Oh, well, I guess you can drop bombs. So I got that mixed up. So... And we're out. I am after that weapon and that weapon only. So, here we go. Also, it's kind of funny because like I said, I like making a lot of different. Also, I'm going to eat something, even though I don't really need to, most likely, just because I hate seeing the flashing, and it's so unoptimal to eat like that. Oh my. Why did I just eat this? Well, I'll eat the food next. The actual cooked food. Also, this is gonna be a fun run across, Hyrule Field. Screw it. Why not? There we go. Okay. So... let's actually get the loot. Thank you. I drew the stick figure because that's all that I actually have the artistic capability to draw. Come on. Let's just get out from here and then resummon them because the choo-choos are being frustrating. If I run into an actual guardian, I might just... No, if I run into an actual guardian, I'll kill him. but because like I like theory crafting characters from other media into Pathfinder characters, and it is hilarious how pretty much every single shonen protagonist is just a monk. Or in Pathfinder 1e, they are a monk or a brawler. You don't have, it's like, okay, Gon from Hunter x Hunter. He's a monk. Killua, also from Hunter x Hunter. He's also a monk. Today's stream is going to be pretty short. Let's avoid that Guardian. I am just going to be getting the Master Sword in a totally legit way that is definitely not a bug or glitch. Totally legit. Trust me. Oh, there's a Guardian around this village, I think. Oh, there. That's the ranch, isn't it? Also, I think this is a... No, is this a... Okay. There is a, I believe a piece of the Phantom armor in this town. Oh, there's the guy I was thinking of. Hyrule Field is fun to cross when you have no gear. But in future streams, I'm planning on probably getting every memory, beating every Divine Beast, and then killing Ganon. I'm not going to be doing like all shrines or anything like that, but still, that is a fun. It's a fun goal when you aren't using any fast travel. Also, I'm just now realizing that I don't have any sound cues for whether or not I'm being targeted by a Guardian, which is normally the biggest cue you have that you've been spotted by a Guardian. So this will be fun. I think there's... forgetting where the bridges are in Hyrule Field. Hey, you can jump that. Come on, Valeros. You've got a good athletics. Yeah, but like every goddamn anime character is a monk or a brawler, and it's hilarious because like it just makes things so much easier for like theory crafting and stuff. Now where? Oh, there's the bridge. Okay. Hey, Hanox. Like, Goku's obviously a monk. Like, Goku is a 20th level monk with the key form focus spell. That's obvious enough. And really, literally every shonen character who has a power-up is just a monk with the key form focus spell. But it's just fun. I have not actually played either Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask, but which I know is sacrilegious, but my first ever like Nintendo console was a Switch, and there isn't a port for either game on the Switch. I think. I don't think they've ported over Majora's. No, they did port over both games, and they just weren't very good. And I don't have a Nintendo Online membership. But of the games that I would be more interested in playing, I mean, both would be interesting to play. But I'd probably be more interested in Ocarina of Time over Majora's Mask. Just honestly for the legacy purposes. I think a left here. Oh yeah. We're almost at the Woodland Stable. This is the one like section of roads on the map that I'm the least familiar with, because you have the least reason to come up here towards this section of the map. Yeah, like I've thought about either emulating or getting them for the Switch, but honestly, the reasons why I like Breath of the Wild so much make me a bit less interested in Ocarina of Time, just because, or rather I should say traditional Zeldas, because I really love the open world nature of it, and those games aren't as much. So yeah, Breath of the Wild is really good. However, and I think that this has become a bit more of a popular opinion in time. Breath of the Wild is not a 100 out of 100 experience game, because it is very much a like breaking new ground game for Nintendo. And as with every game that breaks new ground, it fucks up. And there are a lot of parts of Breath of the Wild that are not very polished, or rather, maybe not very well thought through. In general, it is a highly polished game, but I don't know. There are some elements that I feel like it really should have, that Nintendo didn't focus on, or rather, maybe just didn't really get. Like, horses. Horses are amazing if you're doing a run where you don't fast travel anywhere, which I like to do. Base game, they're trash. Because if you're going somewhere that you've already been, you just fast travel, and then your horse doesn't come with you. And if you are going somewhere new, you want to climb up places, because you want to explore, and you can't take your horse with you. And if you want to fix that, you buy for the DLC. But then you can also get a fancy motorcycle, so then why do you use a horse? Weapon breaking is actually something that I like. I think that it's a very good game mechanic. However, I feel like it'd be nice if people got incentivized for breaking their weapons. So it doesn't feel bad whenever you break your weapon. It feels good because you get something. I think it was, I'm going to really fuck up his name here, but I've basically watched like every video essay covering Breath of the Wild, and boy are there a lot on YouTube. I think it was Rasputin. His thing is he has a paper bag over his head in his avatar. He had a very good video on it, and his idea for weapon breakage, because he liked the system too, but he wanted more out of it, is given like an item whenever you break a weapon that you can then use for upgrading your own weapons. Let's drop some weapons here. Okay. Let's go to a spot probably a bit earlier than I was expecting to. But basically what I'm trying to say is there are a lot of problems with Breath of the Wild. It's not a perfect game. And as such, I am so fucking excited for the sequel. Because they've had a lot of development time where they can fix a lot of the problems that people had. Which makes me very excited for whenever they do eventually get around to it. To releasing it, and hopefully it's better. And it fixes a lot of the problems that I have with the game. Now, I'm interested to see if I remember exactly how to move around here. Because I've made this trip a lot. Because, on one of my no fast travel runs, or just, not runs, but, Master Sword time. Basically, in one of my playthroughs where I wasn't fast traveling, I was also trying to just do like every quest. And, there is a quest that you get where you have to bring a bunch of items to, the Korok and the Korok Forest. Yeah, I probably could have done that without the torch. But that means that I had to run through that section like 6 times. Because if you can't fast travel into the Korok Forest, yeah, the other thing is I want Link to be able to punch. I would love for just a punch ability for Link that does like, I don't know, the same amount of damage as a tree branch. So it's fucking terrible. Oh, and then another thing that would be nice is if you could upgrade your, like, basically, I know that spirit, oh god, it's chugging here, but, like, so spirit orbs are effectively pieces of heart in Breath of the Wild. And I know it'd be kind of silly, but there are 120 shrines in Breath of the Wild. So instead of using 4 spirit orbs to get a heart container or a spirit vessel or stamina vessel, instead make it 3. So you still, and then also give an additional option. So basically what I want is, I want there to be an attack upgrade. So whenever you spend spirit orbs, you can choose between increasing your health, increasing your stamina, and increasing your attack. Because that's fun. I think Arlo was the one who put that in one of his big fat review. Because I would like just to be able to upgrade my damage and have that be separate from my weapons. Okay, let's see. Do I get a cutscene with a Great Deku Tree here? I don't think so. And now, now I need to make a save. Because I've done this once before. Like a year ago. So we'll see if I can remember how to do the glitch. I think it's about there-ish. And then we crouch. I think it's... This might be good. So... Pass time by the fire. Morning. And I am gonna be spamming A. Yeah. Master Sword. This is probably the easiest possible glitch that you can do in Breath of the Wild. And if you know anything about Breath of the Wild speedrunning, you'll know that there is a stupid amount of glitches. And also, got the Master Sword within an hour and 37 minutes of starting a brand new save file. Which... yeah, so basically how this glitch works is whenever the game loads from you changing the time, there is one event that... Basically, there are 2 events for picking up the Master Sword. There's one for just picking it up as an item, and then there's another one that starts the whole thing where it checks how many hearts you are, or how many hearts you have. If you look up into the sky and change the time, it doesn't load the one that checks to see how many hearts you have first. So if you just spam A, you can pick up the Master Sword without it checking for how many hearts you have. And let's just do this shrine, why not? But I am probably gonna be stopping after this shrine because my voice is starting to hurt a bit. And I also have to record a video tomorrow because I don't have a video recorded for Saturday yet. So, and I also have a Pathfinder game tomorrow. So, this is a easy shrine. So, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 little guys. So 5 little guys. 5 little fellas. As it were, then 1, 2, 3 for, so 5 and 3. Also, if you haven't played Breath of the Wild, but you are thinking about playing Breath of the Wild some point in the future, I highly recommend not knowing anything about the game. Because it works substantially better if you don't know anything about it. Speaking from personal experience as someone who spoiled the entire game for themselves before ever buying a Switch. So I think this is... yeah, that's 1, 2. Like, I got my Switch about a year after it came out. Oh, come on, did I get it wrong? Oh, no, I didn't get it wrong. I inputted it wrong. The counting puzzle. Yeah, but Breath of the Wild came out, I think, in March 2017. And that's when the Switch came out, and I ended up... I don't think that that's worth it. Additional counting around the corner. But I just didn't recognize that, like, I wasn't expecting to get a Switch whenever the Switch came out. So I was like, hey, a lot of people are talking about this game called Breath of the Wild, so I'm gonna watch a lot of people play through it. And then I did eventually get my Switch a year later, with Breath of the Wild as the only game, and I realized, oh, a lot of the fun of this game is the exploration, which kind of sucks now that I know where everything is. But it's still my favorite game I've ever played, because there's so much stuff. Okay, is this actually... Okay, is this the Trial of the Sword? Yes, this is the Trial of the Sword. I don't think I can actually do the Trial of the Sword. I think that it would kill me. Both in the sense of me literally, like, skill check, I'm not good enough for the Trial of the Sword because I haven't played this game in, like, 6 months or so. In that goddamn Lizalfos level, you know the one. The rest of the Trial isn't that bad, but that one is rough. Yeah, exploration games are amazing. Also, are you ready for the Great Deku Tree to probably talk about how... Oh, do you... Oh, okay. He's actually talking about the Trial of the Sword. But exploration games are so good, and Breath of the Wild is one of the best. I'm not planning on doing the Trial of the Sword. I will get my ass kicked. Although the Quarks are very cute. Actually, let me... Give me... not speed test. Give me 1 second. I just want to check and see, like... Because I know that I'm not that fast at getting the Master Sword, but I want to know, like, what is the approximate amount of time that most people take to get the Master Sword, because it's a speedrun category. So I just want to see Master Sword. So funny thing is, if I actually had a timer up and submitted my runtime, I would be the new 73rd fastest Master Sword speedrunner in the world. Out of 73. It seems like a lot of other people oh, and by the way, the world record for getting the Master Sword is 15 minutes and 56 seconds. Because people are crazy. Because you can do stuff like bullet time bounces and wind bombs, and you can just... Also, I don't know what the other glitch is called, but it's one where you pick up a bomb, and you trick the game into thinking you're being hit by a bomb, and you can just fly. You can use it to cross huge distances really quickly. Yeah. So, hello. Hello, Lucas. Also, yeah, it still thinks the Master Sword is here. So to actually, like, count as having the Master Sword for quests, I'm gonna need 13 hearts. But I have it, so that's fun. Maybe I can cut down some grass and maybe save my frame rate. But I am going to have to go, though. So, it's been fun talking. It's fun actually playing Breath of the Wild. It's one of my favorite games. So, yeah. Until I see you next, live a wonderful life. And I'll see you guys next time.